So this episode is giving solutions to workplace harassment and bullying, which can be used for other human beings who are always harassing you relentlessly and always bullying you. Um, but I'm giving you solutions that are more physical, like the physical human, how to deal with them, expose them, and put them in legal trouble, and get them off your back and protect your jobs and other things they're trying to take away or sabotage. But the most important thing to remember is that, right, this could become a pattern, and we obviously don't want to always waste our energy dealing with the human, because any human who acts this way is possessed by demons, and their demons are harassing you. And the goal is to frustrate you and get you to a point where you give up and give them whatever it is that they don't want you to have, such as that job. They want you, and they usually will attack you more during the process of getting hired, so that you actually just quit. They will just harass, harass, harass. And the goal is to get on your nerves to a point you start to then agree with the fact that this is not worth it, etc. So, okay, so for that reason, the first solution is to pray against them, to pray against the spirits or the demons in these humans. That's why it doesn't seem to stop. They don't leave you alone, such as psychopaths and narcissists. Their energy, they don't ever leave the person alone. It's like a pest. But a human cannot do that. They will get tired. It's because those are demons. So, solution one is to pray. So, God willing, or inshallah, I will upload prayers, recite that for protection against harassment from human beings, whether the same ones, right? Like certain coworkers who are always harassing you, like managements that are trying to get you to lose your job before you even get through the job, or you have it in there. You know what I'm talking about. Not just one time harassment, but relentlessly coming back to you. And sometimes they attack you at a moment, like a surprise attack. That's one thing they're known to do. When you think everything's fine, when maybe you think, at least you got hired, it's all good, or just overall your life, maybe you've been suffering, and when things are going well, then boom, something bad happens, because the devil is looking for that time you put your guard down, that you thought maybe you prayed to God and they left you alone. Then they'll come back. So the first thing I had to do was first acknowledge it's not over. They didn't leave me alone yet. That this is a new type of tactic, constant repetitive harassment. It's like the psychology of a bully. If you let them take an inch, they go a mile, right? That's what they say about the devil too. You let them, for example, call you on your phone when they're supposed to, as professional people with you who are not related to you, always communicate with you through email and stuff. Phone would be for emergencies, like maybe you're calling in sick. But if you notice that these humans are actually making it their sort of act to actually get, outside of that professionalism, and they're calling you, texting you, when you email them, which is what I'm going through, or they're doing that in other situations where as coworkers we don't call each other, text each other. That's people who are friends maybe, but not these situations where management and others obviously, right? You email people, you give them the information they need, you give them their paperwork, etc. Know that these are demons when humans are acting this way. That's why you're scared to maybe say something, because you know they're gonna attack you and try to get you to lose your job. You get me? Your conscious knows deep down what they want. So you're scared to just be your natural self and be like, don't talk to me like this. Or, okay, so you need to pray. And I'm going to upload these prayers so that those demons, God takes them out of your way. You need to attack them, and these humans will just forget you. But the humans also need to be held accountable too, the physical way, such as taking legal action, holding them accountable for their harassment, because it takes time for them to leave you alone. They might have done things that actually require that you take legal action. And that's what this episode is really giving you detailed sort of solutions on. So I've experienced this all my jobs. So that's how I have personal experience of this. Okay, here's the episode. Listen to the Healing Guides podcast with Hannah or Marian Abdullahi, which is my real name, on YouTube, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Podcasts, etc. Okay, very quick message about one of the signs of the end of the world. Something that individually, when you observe this behavior, has always happened ever since human history, because it's just an evil behavior, and evil has always been around. It's just that now it's going to be more like 90% of the experiences humans will have with others, which then means humans who can do this are going to be like the majority of the human race at a higher number. And over time, they're going to increase in their percentage in this world. Humans who could ever do such an evil act like this. I already talked about this in one of the examples of signs of the end of the world, which is episode 102 on the Healing Guides podcast. But, I didn't explain it or give an example. I've personally gone through this ever since I was a kid. I've seen this evil conduct happening from demonic spirits possessing the human beings that I had to interact with all my life. First, in the evil family God put me in, then anyone else I had to interact with who is not deep down a good person, which is the majority of the human race. So I just see them every day and everywhere. It's not a group over there. No, it's the average human in this country, the US and other countries. It's just that they usually direct this to human beings who are more moral than them. And if you're wicked like them, if deep down you're a narcissistic, psychopathic human like them, then they're probably not going to direct this at you as much, because you guys will become buddy-buddy. But since they're evil, and evil means you're not a human, you're a predator, they obviously will do that to each other. It's basically lying, but in a manipulative way. It's in a manipulative way. That manipulative way is the way that, narcissistic or psychopathic way, right, is the way that it happens or comes out as, which is gaslighting. Which is basically is that human beings will reach a point in human history, which is happening right now, where they are going to be afraid to speak. Okay, I'm sorry. I was losing my train of thought. Basically, I was walking, so if you can hear some traffic, it's just vehicles. They always make noise, always randomly police sirens and ambulances happen, which will show you these human beings are not actually running to real events that require them to be called. Because how can you, as a demonic spirit, possess these humans and always, when I'm trying to record, as well as just 24/7 of my life, just constantly make noises like that? Crime cannot happen that fast. It means they're randomly using the noises. It means they're randomly driving by when they're not supposed to, when it's not even legal. I even look at the data of the city that I'm in, and there's no record of these crimes they're running to every day, these fires, these ambulances. Because it's every 5-10 minutes, there's a police siren, there's an ambulance siren. But you can't find what happened if you look at the news of your city. So it's demonic persecution. They're harassing me with these government employees. When I ignore these noises, then they do something more harmful. I lost my train of thought because there's this really creepy, weird animal. It looks like a pig. It's like a small version of a pig. It's slender and weird. It looks like a pig, but it's not. I don't know what the hell this animal is. They bring random weird animals to me to try to intimidate me. They're possessing the animal. I literally was losing my train of thought as I was trying to explain this, right, conduct of lying, because I was trying to act covert and as if I don't see the animal, because you know how animals you, right, react, then they're going to freak out and look at you. You had sometimes act dumb, like you didn't see them, like you're just casually walking by. But the thing won't stop staring. It takes time to, just go on its own. A demon brought it there. This is the nonsense I have to deal with every day. Just to prevent me from what I'm trying to record. They harass me like this. So it's this behavior that I usually saw, that you human beings will start to now see everywhere you go. But usually you'll see it at a workplace, or you'll see it with human beings who you might have what you call a relationship. It's not a relationship, obviously, as long as you're around an evil human. It's this end of the world sign where people will be afraid to speak. You'll be afraid to speak up the way God naturally created you, because you're afraid of retaliation from those that, by simply saying what they did, they retaliate. They lie about you. But it's a unique type of lying. It's by twisting the truth. It's just basically study gaslighting, okay? Human beings who have this narcissistic, psychopathic, sociopath qualities do it. It just means evil human. But these ones are like the more manipulative extremes of an evil human. So they do this gaslighting more than a regular bad human. You get me? A regular bad human might do other things, but may not be so extreme in gaslighting. They might lie, but if you stop them, they might leave you alone. While these ones will just twist logic, reality, the truth, what happened, and try to make you actually think they're telling the truth. An event that could have happened that same day or moment or hour that you obviously remember. You're going to get thoughts in your mind saying, are they telling the truth? Did you actually do that? That's witchcraft they do to your mind, and the intrusive thoughts of the demonic spirit therefore can make itself appear to you more loudly in your mind. You can actually hear the thoughts trying to confuse you of your memory of something, as this coworker, right, is literally accusing you of doing something or not doing something. They're just harassing you, okay? They're just trying to sabotage your job, which is what I've experienced all my life as a young adult. Anytime I had a job, it's just that the lying is trying to lie in a way that's trying to intimidate you into silence. It's not just trying to lie. So in order to try to intimidate you to be silent, that human is possessed, so their demon does witchcraft to you. So your throat might actually start to shake, as if your heart is in your throat, because your heart is already beating fast. You get me? Fear enters your body, but it's false fear. It's not the one from God. It's the one that witchcraft is doing to you. Witchcraft is a dark power that demons use to manipulate the mind. The same power they use to put evil thoughts and false fake emotions into human beings who call themselves LGBT, where they don't understand those thoughts and weird feeling like stuff they're getting. And if they agree with it and become that way, they become filthy, less than human, not a human anymore, predators to themselves, and they constantly rape each other. Whatever the hell they do is just rape to each other. It's not sexual. In other ways, humans objectify themselves, hurt themselves, dishonor themselves, such as being around abusive human beings, by giving them, therefore, dominance over them. You're giving them dominance over you, as long as you're around a human who's bad. Every time they interact with you, it's like they want to just argue. They raise their voice. They act like some god. Listen, 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 listen. So-and-so, so-and-so, Miss So. Okay, listen, listen. You get me? It's just what you expect the behavior is. It's just inappropriate language, inappropriate way to speak a human being, especially to an adult. Where they're talking to you like you're stupid or dumb. Like somehow psychologically you don't remember something. Like you have bad memory, like you made a mistake. Because if an evil human is lying about something that you did or they did, or a way that you interacted recently, but they want to make it seem like their lie is the truth, then they have to portray you as mentally being dumb or stupid or strange or mentally ill or someone who can't remember something, who's not mentally healthy enough. Get it? Because they're lying and you're telling the truth and you're saying, wait a minute, I didn't do that. Yesterday I actually sent you. You're correcting them. So they have to, without bluntly saying it out loud, accuse you of having a mind that's somehow dumb in order to hide the fact that they're just lying. You're going to use your mind to defend yourself from that lie, from that accusation, correct? You're using your mind to think and then speak. So they have to make it seem like you're stupid or something, that you didn't hear what they just told you, like you weren't paying attention. So they interrupt you and say, listen. And in that one sentence, they're already, or one word, they're doing 4 or 5 other type of evil behaviors, which then means 4 or 5 other type of sin. Acting dominant over you, acting like a god, treating you like an object or less than an object. Raising their voice, shouting at you. They're already doing other evil conduct because they're using their tone, they're using their attitude, they're using the volume, or like, what's the word? They're using their voice, basically the volume, they're raising it. That's what you do. You raise your voice, you yell at people who are doing something bad, who are evil, who are maybe killing someone. Hey, what are you doing? You're trying to stop it. So they portraying the victim that they're harassing as the bad, dumb person by speaking to you with a tone, a language, a speech that doesn't fit you, but also that's evil and immoral because they're acting like dominant. So literally, in order to cover up the fact that they're lying and accusing you of things, right to your face as they talk to you like a coworker, a manager. You didn't come to this meeting. You didn't do this. What do you mean I did? What do you mean I didn't come to? And you literally confused. You're thinking, what, did this person just accuse me? But you're very calm and they don't like that. You're not reacting. You're just simply saying, no, I didn't. No, I didn't receive that email. You get me? They're rude. You know they're trying to get a rise out of you, but you're not acting that way or reacting that way or getting mad. You're just calmly refuting what they say as they slowly drag that conversation. They don't get to the point. They don't do their job as an employee. You know what they're doing. So you're not going to, right, express your natural human instinct to be like, hey, you're harassing me. Because we live in a world where expressing yourself naturally like that gets you fired. So something, right, you guys are probably used to this type of behavior. Humans who are bad act like to you. And if you were to ever really confront them the healthy way we confront strangers or humans we know, for them, they get to retaliate in a very strange way where you lose your job, you lose something because they go and lie. They play victim. That's a demonic spirit. That's not a human being. The demon is possessing them doing that. That's why they have endless energy. These humans who are narcissistic or psychopathic or just anyone God created who today is bad in their character or in past human history, they get possessed if they're evil in heart. So there's like hundreds of demons in their body. Yesterday they could have tried to argue with you, harass you, steal your energy. You could have stood up for yourself. Today they're ready to do the same thing. You're thinking, what the hell? Why are they trying to bother me every day? But where's their sort of human quality getting tired and leaving me alone? Because every time a demon possesses them that's different than the other one from yesterday, this one now has endless energy to fight with you, argue with you. And these humans usually try to put you in jail or prison. They like to accuse you of crime. So they're the ones who call people they live with, like family or spouses or whoever they're dating. They like to call cops on them and say domestic violence happened. They're that type of caller of 911 that has no right to call. They're that manager that calls police on a coworker who was just defending their job. You know, they're that evil teacher that calls cops on a kid who was just being a kid and not committing anything bad. In a way that you would say police should maybe be called, but in a way that you can just talk to the kid and they'll stop because they're kids. You're supposed to help them learn to be disciplined. That's what a teacher is there for, to guide them with their manners. You don't call cops on a kid for doing small things that you and I know kids do that are not polite. The goal is just to always portray you as some sort of bad or criminal or harmful thing, because that's who they are. They're just projecting their own quality to you because they're self-conscious of it and don't want anyone to know. They enjoy hurting people like this. They know there's something called consequence in this life. People obviously will notice what you're doing. So instantly and in that exact moment they harass someone, they're already accusing you, just in their words. Without saying you did something necessarily. They're already accusing you. They're already projecting their own qualities to you. They're stupid. They're dumb. And they usually target intelligent people or very smart people who obviously can easily overpower them at a workplace, a school, in the family. Jealousy, therefore, is their problem. So, signs of the end of the world means this behavior is going to happen to you guys. Everywhere you go, you will not be able to know what to say and how. You're going to have fear come over you because it's witchcraft. Because you're human. You can't be scared of another human. You're a species. Human is just human to you. Why would you be scared? And it's not even a situation where the devil could try to put fear in your heart, like they have a gun or something. It's just normal, rude behavior. Not, that you're used to. It's just rude behavior you're used to. So what is this weird fear coming over your heart, your body, that's silencing you? Because it shows you you're not in a normal situation. Nor are you in a situation where evil is happening, but right, that human would stop as long as you confront them. Something deep in you just knows, your deep conscience knows this thing will not leave you alone. You know they're going to argue to death. You know it's not a human like us. You know it's not, you get me, a bad human. Hey, what the hell did you just say I did? Did you just accuse me? They're not the human that would then shut up when you say that, when you get mad like that. They're just going to talk to you like they're God or something. Ma'am, listen. That's how they talk when they're female. Especially when they're African American. Their tone irritates the hell out of them. They have the most nastiest tone. When they're evil humans. Good people always are decent in their speech. They have very gentle voice and tone. It's a demonic spirit that makes the African Americans speak like this. Since I went to southern states for some time, I've seen them more. And I've been having a lot of their demons bother me in an extreme way that they try to make me forget that these are demons and not humans. That if I go some other place with other ethnicities or races, they're going to do the same thing too, but just in their own way. So the demon sometimes uses one ethnicity, one race, one group, one gender, one age group so much that it wants me to take it personally. You get me? Because it repeats it so much. It's trying to sensitize me. When I'm someone that just, demonic spirits have extra power. Something they don't have over human beings. But they have extra power over my life to persecute me. So I can't have a conversation with a human without these nasty behaviors coming out of that individual. The human is possessed God gave their demon extra power to do something that demon face to face, if they saw me right now, cannot do towards me. They cannot do evil around me. They're scared of me. But they're blinded by God, and they have more power to act dominant around me every day. Just so you're not your natural self, which I'm just a naturally happy person. It doesn't matter if I didn't eat for 10 days or my leg just broke. I'm always going to greet you with a smile. I'm just a happy person. That's a blessing. Because of my morality, I'm happy. Because I'm connected to God, I'm just happy. The average human is not moral, nor are they connected to God, nor are they connected to the real one usually. So they can't be this happy. The people who are at least close to this happy, who are healthy, decent humans, regardless of their race or religion or etc., those other humans, their demons will also bother them similar. Just for them, there's no persecution. Just when they see evil, because every human will see evil, it's always this sort of condescending, disrespectful, rude attitude like human. They're just trying to steal the person's energy, that happiness. You get me? That light, that glow that you have. They don't have it. They just want you to be quiet. Hello, yes. They want you to talk like that. Anytime I was not my happy self, that demon won't harass me. But I'm polite, I'm professional. I greet you the way you expect, right, employees to greet you, who are good people with good character, a very healthy, warm way to greet a human being. And if that individual is an evil person, right, I'm not going to be warm or anything to them, but my energy is very strong. You get me? You know I would take over that company if no one was bothering that process. You can easily see who should lead. Because strong energy, strong personality, that's what you see when you see me. I can just easily take over the room. Anyone who has qualities like this, where you have a strong energy, strong personality, you're healthy, wonderful qualities God gave you, this quality is what you're going to experience. Demons will bring out these behaviors out of whoever is narcissistic in that environment. And then it's going to happen to everyone. Every day, including the evil ones themselves who just did that. No one will be able to speak anymore. Because something called retaliation, they'll just lie about you. As you try to speak, as you try to, in this conversation, this human just lied about you, just gaslighted you, just twisted something you did, or they're trying to ruin or sabotage something. And in the conversation, they're just twisting things like what actually took place the past few days. You called me this day. I didn't call you. What are you talking about? And it's this endless argument, portraying you as dumb or stupid as if you don't remember something you never did. If you don't respond the way they want it, which is defensive, such as I never do. I don't defend myself. I don't react. I don't freak out. I'm just calm. Sometimes I just let them finish their sentence or their lies. Because it's a demonic spirit. It's not a human. It'll do that every time I talk to human beings. It's a waste of my energy. When you just let it talk, it corrects itself. You were supposed to be here this day, blah, 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 blah. Now we see that you don't have this. As they keep talking, you don't say anything. Just observe. Just listen. Just wait. At the end, they're going to be like, actually, we see that you don't have that, so that's fine. They're going to correct their own speech. Because they know what they just did. They just lied. Accused you of something. The hope was that you respond and defend yourself and freak out, and then they confuse you more and not talk too much because they're using witchcraft. You're not going to be able to operate normally and have a normal conversation as you try to defend yourself. Because it's not the typical human who lies. You get me? When you're caught off guard, the witchcraft attacks you more mentally. You're going to get thoughts trying to make it seem like maybe they're telling the truth. Maybe you actually missed this or did this. What the hell? We have a record of something about you that says, now you can't open your mouth and say no. What the hell do you mean? I never did that. You can't defend yourself because there's thoughts actually coming to you very heavy, very strong, making it seem like that could be possible. It's literally witchcraft is being used by demons to make you actually believe maybe what they're saying is true. 5 seconds ago, you were getting angry internally as you were hearing what they said. You were about to defend yourself. But before you open your mouth, that witchcraft came over you. Now you can't speak. It's not humans we're fighting with. It's an unfair thing. They're using power, dark magic. They're demons. The human is just lying and arguing. They don't know what the demon is doing to your mind. Okay? Unless they also did witchcraft to you, because they can learn to do that too. So that's just going to increase and increase and increase the way when you observe law enforcement arguing with people. You know how they have a pattern? Just watch a lot of their videos where they're harassing people, accusing people of things. They speak the exact same pattern, even though they're all different human beings. I don't believe their government sits down with them and teaches them how to talk that nasty way to people. So why are they able to do the exact same way of speech in their speech with humans? How they escalate so quickly, using the same type of terminologies and words? It's because that's demons. They sit down together and they come up with a way to speak the same way. So human beings become sensitized to it. And every time they know that behavior is about to appear, they want humans to run off and become scared. Because they know that type of character is not human. The more you talk to it, the more you use reason and evidence, the more it accuses you, the more it twists the truth, the more it freaks out like a child, the more it raises its voice, the more it gets personal with you. You're just thinking, what the hell am I going through? What the hell is this? It's like a child, but an evil one. Usually this behavior will come out of sort of older human beings, really old ones. Because their demons want to project that sort of nonsense of, right, dominance, as if they're dominant or something. You should listen and obey them if they're older. So very old females and very old males might do this more, such as, right, sort of old employees at a job who are maybe in management. Because it's just evil behavior, but demons sometimes like to connect evil to certain demographics, a certain age group, a certain race, a certain gender. They'll connect bad behavior to certain demographics to sensitize human beings. You get me? It's just bad behavior. All human beings who are bad of all age groups talk like this, but by connecting it to certain age groups more, like those who are more older, then every time you see them, they want you to freak out that they might talk to you like that. You get me? They want you to be afraid of something happening before it even happens because they sensitized you. To see that on a regular basis from humans who are the same age or the same race or the same as this human, because they want you to be afraid of something. They know if they use random humans every day, you'll just think those humans are crazy. You'll forget about it. You won't give power energy. So they might sensitize you to a certain type of human always acting bad towards you in a similar way rather than a diverse way. So that constant repetition re-traumatizes you. It's traumatic response they want from you. They want you to go into something like a panic attack or something. You get me? Because a lot of the humans they do this to on a regular... Again, the world is just becoming more evil. But at the beginning, right, when things were fine, they did this more to they did this more to human beings as they age, who came from evil families, who already experienced this from bad parents. You know? Just random they just want to get into random arguments with you. You're watching TV, you're just a kid, you don't know, everything's fine, but then all of a sudden, you don't remember how you got into this conversation with them. All of a sudden, right, they're talking to you, you're just responding, and over time, it's like it turns into a fight, it turns into an argument. You're not fighting with them, but they're fighting with you. No, this is how things are. No, blah, 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 blah. What the hell? That it means that human is mentally ill in that sense. There's no such thing as mental illness. You get me? They're not sick. No, it means they're evil. You get me? They're possessed by demons, therefore. It's just that today, the way they behave is labeled mental illness. You get me? Which is narcissistic personality disorder, psychopathic personality disorder. So it's called mental illness. I'm trying to, therefore, remind you of what it's called today. You get me? But there's no such thing as mental illness, because that makes it seem like they're innocent. As if evil, right, is something you do and you're innocent or something. What the hell? No, it just means they're possessed by demons. That sort of personality coming out of them, this sort of new thing, right? Because they were like calm or whatever. And then it feels like a different voice came out of them. Sometimes they're very old, but on the phone, they might appear like way younger. And you're like, wait a minute. At the beginning of the phone call, this human looked like an elderly male or female. Why now does it seem like someone in their 30s or 40s? Like, you what? Demons can even change sort of like their voice or their tone. Because there's different demons possessing them, which means two different genders are possessing them, male and female spirits. You don't know what the hell you're dealing with. Therefore, they're sick in the head. They're psychologically twisted. They're the ones who should be labeled crazy. Human beings who are evil, but not mentally ill. Because look at the word ill, right? It makes it seem like a disease or something normal. You know, like cancer. Where it doesn't make you a bad person. So the word ill is wrong. Maybe they should say mentally crazy or something, because crazy implies you're bad rather than you're innocent and you're somehow sick, you know? But insane implies you're innocent and you're sick. You get the terminology matters. They call them psychopaths. But that's just a quality of all bad humans. They all have that behavior, the way they talk and act like a psychopath. Just call them an evil human. Just that specific behavior they did is psychopathic. You know? They're trying to torture you psychologically by twisting things. Twisting the way they speak, the events that happened, your memory of things. By just lying. It's just lying, but it's a different type of lying. It's twisting things. Twisting even that moment, what they just said to you at the beginning of the phone call or the beginning of the conversation. They might have said something that now you're trying to bring back in order to stop this human from lying about something else that they're talking about. And you get thoughts trying to confuse you of your ability to remember what they just said at the beginning of that conversation. Now you're scared to actually open your mouth and use that as your evidence. No, you just said to me, right, you're going to not be able to finish the sentence because instantly the witchcraft will attack your mind. You can overcome this, and we already do. A lot of times this is happening to us, and we already overcome it without knowing. Because we're prepared. When we already know that human is going to be disrespectful or crazy or mean or bad, the average human already prepares themselves for that interaction with that human. And their mind is therefore able to be in control. You're able to control your mind. The witchcraft doesn't affect you then. So you think when this sort of brain fog happens to you, you think that's the only time witchcraft was done to you, as I'm telling you. No, the witchcraft happens to us every time we talk to bad humans, humans who are lying, humans who are narcissistic and psychopathic in the way they speak. But okay, we don't obviously have this experience all the time. We can talk normally most of the time. That's because those are times we're sort of prepared, you know? But usually when you're happy, you're distracted. Hello, hi. Like, maybe that's when, because you're so distracted, you could never think this could come out of this human, this moment. You know? Usually when you're at the last step of something stressful, you know, like you're going through an airport and you've dealt with so many rude employees, and at the end you think, oh, okay, it's over. You sort of put your guard down, and now it comes out, and now they get into the argument with you. You're not even trying to argue with them. Every time you say something, they're just going to cut you off. So it seems like an argument. The goal is to make it seem like you're arguing with them. But if they listened the way a human does, then you'd finish your sentences, those sentences would prove what they're saying is not true, and they'd have to shut up, agree, and be like, okay, okay. You know? They did evil, but at least they couldn't continue. So they have to cut you off to make it seem like you're just fighting with them or arguing with them out of evil yourself, when they're preventing a conversation from normally happening. Because then they would be held accountable, you know? They would have to stop. They don't care that it's on email or phone call or face-to-face where other people are around. They don't care there's technically that evidence, because their demons are going to work with them to do witchcraft to you and your job or your environment or your household. And everyone's going to be working together who's evil like that. They're going to set you up and accuse you. I told you, unless you're prepared for this, unless you actually think evil humans who are like this are who you work with or live with, and you're prepared to, right, document and be ready to defend yourself and get out of that situation. If you're just happy thinking your life is normal and you're shocked by this behavior all of a sudden, and then you're just like, whatever, you forget about it, then something bad will happen the next time you interact with those humans. They'll just now bluntly accuse you of random things or crime, because you're not dealing with what you think a human is, right? A human might be bad, but they're still going to be logical on a daily interaction with others. They're just going to be normal. This is a possessed human at a higher level, right? 90-something% of the human race is possessed because they're very evil and sinful. But this is like the higher level of possession. They're psychopathic. They're not even able to speak normally. The evil human obviously chooses when to do evil. They can be normal if they want to, correct? Evil is a choice. But this one is just always going to talk like this, you know? They have never been held accountable because they do more evil. Therefore, their demons reward them by always sabotaging, retaliating, pushing out the human beings who they harassed, abused, bothered. They push out those victims to their bad behavior through the witchcraft they're using that will be done to their job, their home, something. And they'll just be accused of something really bad that pushes them out of the environment. This behavior will increase so much. Human beings will start to fear speaking up. You agree, when someone accuses you, lies about you, when they first harassed you, and then you defend yourself, and then they lie about you. If you're in a normal situation, you can just get mad, right, and get them out of your way. You can just express yourself more angrily now, and they're going to get scared and move on. They're going to leave. But when you're in a restricted environment like a workplace, where because non-Muslims are not in the correct religion of God Almighty, therefore they don't believe in morality at a workplace. They believe in evil behaviors of obedience and being silent and treating customers like some god. You have to obey as if they're always right, when they don't believe humans are always right and it's just a human. These evil things humans don't believe in. They believe these qualities are evil, suppressing people, not doing the right thing. They know that's bad. But in a workplace, they made it seem like a normal, healthy thing to do. And whoever tries to go against that and follow their instincts, their nature, right, to do the right thing, to stand up for themselves, they push you out. Okay, so this is not going to happen in a Muslim environment. It's just, if a place is evil, then it's evil. But is it acceptable to Muslims? Is it something they say is normal? No, because their religion is from God. They can't do that. They can't turn someone speaking up for themselves into a bad person they have to push out. You can't. You can just be yourself. For them, their evil is the perversions and sexisms and other evil things in their books that they will push on to people. And then they're going to try to silence those who are moral in that sense, who will try to stop that stuff. You get me? But they don't have a problem with a human being If they harass you, you simply speaking up and saying, don't talk to me like that again. Don't lie about me. A Muslim employer will not fire you. They don't believe in going after the victim because to them that's a sin. So this happens really in non-Muslim countries. They're employers. But since this is just evil, okay, it happens everywhere in the world, including within Muslims. Duh, if in that environment Muslims, right, there are no decent Muslims to obviously hold them accountable. You get me? But it's not something they turned into a status quo. Europeans really did that, and then it spread to others. These countries, you can't just be human. You can't just stand up for yourself. That employee acts like some god. They go to others and they say you disrespected them. Like there's something you're supposed to respect. Like, who are you? You're just a stranger. Who are you to be? Who are you? Why should you be respected? Are you God? You're just a human. You're equal to each other. You can tell this person, hey, you're not going to talk to me like that. You get me? The same way you would say to a stranger in the street. But they think if they work with you, that they have some sort of dominance or power or rights to you, to mistreat you, and you can't talk to them like you talk to the one in the street. Shut the hell up. Did you just cuss me out? They think you can't say that to them. Get it? They act like they have some sort of status because they're your coworkers or customers when they're strangers. Get it? And that comes out of family. That comes out of humans. Sadly, you have relationships with you shouldn't. Fake friends or fake romantic. Anyone who's evil will do this. But they can't do much to you, except maybe they try to commit crime of like trying to be violent. You can just kick them out of your life. You can just cut them off. But when they're at a workplace, they come after your money. They try to get you fired just to protect, their evil character from being exposed. And since the others are just like them in management, because evil humans, the devil helps them to get the higher positions of every company. And good people are pushed out who do the right thing. Okay, you're going to experience this nonsense every company you go to. And those humans in those higher management positions will always support the bully. So I don't want you to think that there's no solution, right? As if demons. You're probably thinking that you're making it seem like there's nothing we can do. Yes, you can. You can always, in a very covert way yourself, just like they're acting covert, but they're doing evil. They're making it seem like they're not. You can also covertly stand up for yourself. Covertly say like one statement that will just remind them to calm the hell down. Calm down. Like saying, be professional with me, and then you stop talking. They're going to be defensive, right? What do you mean? I'm defensive. I'm always professional. Right? Just let them finish it. It's a character. It's not a person. It's a character. It's acting that way. That's not their natural, intentional way they want to behave. God created all of us the same. We all have logic and reason. That's intentional. They're acting like they are really arguing with you. No, they're not. They need your permission. You don't give them any psychological, emotional reaction, verbal reaction. You already expressed yourself. You told them to be professional with you. You don't even have to say don't be personal with me. Don't say the bad thing they did. You get me? They got personal with you. Don't disrespect me. Don't say that, because then they're gonna actually then accuse you more. You get me? I didn't get personal with you. They won't. They might hang up and get you fired the next day. You want to control the situation. You want to document every interaction, every phone call, every email. What people do wrong is they just document, they go to HR. They get fired and then they say, there's no solution. I documented everything. This is the dumbest human I've ever seen. Why are you acting like there's no solution? As if evil is dominant over good. Are you dumb? What? You're not supposed to go to HR. You're supposed to go to the government. Get it? When you're documenting for the EEOC. You're documenting for a lawsuit. You're documenting to put them on the internet. Use that to file a huge lawsuit. You have the evidence. They're going to get fired. Or you can sue the company also if the company deserves that. Don't do that to companies if they don't deserve it. If it's just 2, 3, 4, 5 employees, then go after them and sue them. They did anything criminal. They defamed your character. What they accused you of could have put you in jail. They need to go to jail. You get me? You're documenting to take legal action, not to go to HR, because HR is them. It's just that bad manager, their buddy. It's within the company. Why would the company be the one to help you? The company, the human beings who are always managing it, are just like this bad human who's harassing you. If they didn't have a culture where this was something they thought humans should get away with who are evil, this human wouldn't have felt so confident. Okay? That's why they're not scared to do it in a way where they can be recorded, in a way where their email can be seen. They're not hiding it. They're not hiding it for a reason. It's because they know those humans above them who will work with them in a job, that's their friends. Or they can just manipulate them. Make it obvious as they describe your behavior using certain terminologies evil humans are all sensitive to. And they're all going to get the point that this evil one is telling them that one's a threat to them because that one seems moral. And this evil human is hinting to them that they're evil and they should work together. They have a way of silent communication. They're evil humans. They have a way of connecting, just like good people connect without speaking. But since their demons are working together, their demons will put those feelings and thoughts into them that they should protect each other, okay? So document, don't let it go. Say specific one-line statements. And this human, I'll let them finish reacting like a child that's throwing a tantrum. You're not allowing them to traumatize you and speak nonsense. No, they're done. They're scared if you speak up. They just don't want you to think it worked. So their demon is going to make them speak one more time. I am professional. Blah, 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 blah. Listen to their voice. They're shaking. Listen to their tone. They're getting anxious. Listen to the volume. It's getting lower. And then silence. They're going to shut up. Exactly what you wanted to happen you just wanted them to shut up. And you didn't have to do what your instinct tells you to do. That you know if you did, they retaliate and accuse you of random things. Right? Things would escalate badly. Which is you'd say to them, hey, don't talk to me like that again. You're not gonna, etc., etc., etc. They want you to defend yourself like that. The way your nature is to specify the bad conduct this human did and tell them they're not gonna do it again. They want you to say that. So then they can say, you would just accuse them of those bad qualities that they just did in front of you. Therefore, they're twisting reality and logic as if you don't have evidence of it. As if they didn't just do that right in front of you. As if there's no record of it. As if it's not real what you just said. As if you're lying. So it's just lying. But it's a weird, twisted, psychopathic, psychologically strange way of lying. Acting like it never happened. You get me? In a way that humans usually don't feel comfortable to lie. Right? If they just took a pen from you, are they going to act like they didn't just take a pen from you like that? Humans lie, but they lie in a way that others could believe like something happened years ago. And you're not showing any proof of it right now. Then they feel confident to lie. We can understand how they did that, right? But right in front of you, they just cussed you out. They just accused you. They just spoke to you in a condescending way, which means you talk to people like they're stupid or dumb. When they stand up for themselves after you acted inappropriate or spoke inappropriate. Or you just acted condescending just randomly. It's always trying to put down your mind, your intellectual level as a human being, whatever the level is. Making you seem like you're dumb, like you don't have the basic qualities of a human or a common sense. By insulting you in a way that's not like the B word, They're insulting you with the way they describe you, as they tell you to not talk or listen or get it, because they're acting like you didn't hear what they were saying, the way humans just naturally hear each other, right? The way human beings I'm not going to say listen to each other, because in this context, it might seem like submissive thing. No, the way human beings, when they're conversing, just naturally hear one another, right? This one speaks, this one speaks, they want to make it seem like you didn't do that. So they're going to act like, right, some strange object-like thing is who you are. And even if you didn't have that natural quality to hear what they were saying as you were conversing with them, do they have the right to tell you to listen? No. That's what the point here. They're accusing you of not hearing something you did, but they're also acting like they're dominant over you by telling you to listen. Anyone who says to you, listen, you need to hang up that phone call that moment. If it's not someone like a situation where you're ready to deal with losing something they're going to sabotage, like your job. If you're not ready to deal with that, you get me? If it's a family or a stranger or others, you hang up. You cut them out of your life. But in situations like a workplace where you have to protect your job and you can't just hang up, you gather the evidence, you take legal action, you get them fired, you take all their money as lawsuit, and now you have a nice, happy laugh. You expose them. That's your job. Because they usually do this when they're alone with you. Expose them. And there are times because they got so confident and other humans have acted submissive towards them, who are sitting right there as they speak to you like this in front of them. Sometimes others could be there. Observe their body language. Their eyes is down, their head is down. They're scared. They're giving a creation, a human versus a God, power over them. They're scared to lose something. All right? They're scared to lose something like their job. You don't have to have your natural, healthy fear of losing your source of income or something else you need to survive. Don't let that turn into you being evil to yourself and committing a sin of being submissive and treating a creation like a God and treating them like God, and you're committing a sin against God now, of now becoming someone who gives them dominance over you. Instead, use that normal, healthy fear of losing your job, losing something else, that this evil human, if you spoke up for yourself, they're going to obviously lie about you and you'll lose it, because they're going to try to protect the evil they did from being exposed by somehow attacking your character, and you'll lose that. Document, but go the legal way. Don't waste your time going to HR. You can always do that thing where you send them that letter. You show HR what's going on, the evidence. You tell them this behavior is not going to happen again. Don't just report the person, because if you report them, well, then HR is going to say, we're sorry, and they'll move on. And then the behaviors will return. And now HR will target you too, because the goal is to attack you as a group, and you quit. You get me? Because they can't fire you, especially when you report something in a really smart way. You document it, or they're scared to fire you because it was something really extreme. Okay, they don't fire people. HR don't fire people. What they do is they retaliate. After that incident ends, they don't want the government to know, right? Obviously, that they didn't intend to help you. They want to act like they wanted to help you. So they're going to not attack you that first moment. They're going to act fake, sympathetic. They're going to put it under the rug. Maybe they will actually verbally speak evil to you. But they might actually act just fake and say sorry or whatever. We spoke to the person, blah, blah, blah. Okay, and then a few days later, weeks later, the behaviors return, and now HR is also harassing you. Get it? Because the goal is to double the harassment. They'll call you to random meetings and speak to you exactly the way that human spoke to you that you complained about. And the goal is to twist your psychology again. Your natural human qualities of reason and common sense. Something that's evil, that a human would never act as normal. They do bad things, but they don't act like it's normal, right? They're going to obviously get scared if you confront them, or they're going to agree if third parties hold them accountable what they did was wrong. This is psychological attack type of evil. So HR will call you to meetings and speak to you the same way you just told a human a few weeks ago spoke to you that you complained about, and they acted like they were fake sorry. Now they're going to start calling you to meetings. Also, since they're perverted, evil humans are perverted, they want to be alone with you and hang around you. They'll call you to private meetings for that reason. They like to steal your energy that way. You're just sitting there, right? They're just stealing your energy through all the psychological and verbal way they abuse you. They feel dominant that way. Imagine something weak, right? Which is an evil human. You being uncomfortable or afraid or unwilling to get up and just say, I dare you to speak to me like that, right? They know that's power. That human beings no longer feel confident to just express themselves and get up from these bad situations. So they're enjoying that power. So they're calling you to meetings. They're constantly calling you to random things. They're constantly micromanaging you and messaging you and calling you and emailing you. It's just to drain the energy out of you, because it's a demon and not a human. So demons need energy. They don't have a body like you and me. They need energy. But also because they're more evil than a human. So they thrive in this. For them, 24/7, they can do evil. You know, as if, you know, it's like some nature, some way they're born like that. That's how much they do evil. As if, you get me? So that's why then they try to, when they're possessing these evil humans, they're going to act like what they're doing towards you is normal. You question the HR member, and they're going to act like what they just said was normal. What do you mean? I didn't speak to you like that. They're going to act like what the inappropriate way they just spoke was normal. You see? Because humans usually are very calm. You are supposed to be like that, okay? It doesn't mean you're weak because they don't become afraid and stop when you confront them. It means the solution is not going to be what you think it is, which is you stopping them yourself. The solution is going to come from third parties. It's the type of evil, you get me? Like actual crime, like murder. You're going to have to involve third parties to stop these types of humans. But as human beings, we're used to stopping bad behavior, correct? The smaller ones. The lower ones, like verbal. We're used to saying, don't talk to me, you know, and the human leaves you alone. So these ones who don't leave you alone, they actually argue with you and act like their behavior is normal, therefore psychologically torturing you, right? You think, what the hell is just a weak human? How can I not stop them? That the devil puts that into you, this desire to overpower them, right? Because they're the weak ones. So you're trying to, in that context, when you're the victim, right? Two evil humans could be doing this to each other. Right? They're both weak. But you get the point. When one is actually a good person, you're the stronger one. So you're trying to, right? The devil will put that into you to express your strength over them and stop this human. How could you? How can they not be afraid of you and leave you alone? There's no need for you to do anything like that through interactions with them, because that's just how they're going to continue to behave. So that natural desire that the devil is just manipulating to push you to express it in an unhealthy way, right, of constantly talking to them, which is not the right way. That natural desire, use it the right way of actually, trying to stop them, because you are the strong one if you're moral. You are supposed to overpower them and shut them up, but you're going to do it a different way, not through yourself one-on-one. You're going to go and take legal action, and now you got them punished for their behavior because you exposed it, Because the reason they're fearless is because no one knows. If others saw it, who would not, when they saw it, clap for them, but say, you will not talk to that person like that again. If someone like that, even if it's an evil person, as long as the evil person in that context would do the right thing and tell this human what they did is not okay. You just need a third party who will actually confront them and say that what they did is not okay. That's when they stop. You get me? It's a type of evil that won't stop unless third parties are involved. You get me? Like a stalker. Because if we all could exercise our human instinct to physically attack them, then they would leave us alone, such as human history, what past humans used to do. So that's why it's very confusing to you that you need a third party. It seems like a weak thing. Because it technically in that sense might seem that way. Or I'm sorry, it is to some degree. Because it's our nature to stop them, get it? God designed us to stop the bad or the bully. We are supposed to tell them, you will not talk to me like that again. You're supposed to beat them up if they don't shut up. And now they'll leave you alone, right? Because violence was used. They were beaten up. But if we live in a world where you cannot exercise your natural instinct to attack a human who's evil, because we live in a world where evil humans in government create laws where they say that's a crime, then you are going to have to go this other way of taking the legal action. You get me? You can't just punch them. After giving them chances to stop their conduct and they continue to behave in nasty ways, perverted, condescending, disrespectful, acting like dominant, acting like you're some property, of behaviors like that deserve that human to be beaten up. Where they talk to you like a crap or property. You get me? Versus just typical rude behavior. When is this extreme? Like someone who acts racist, you know, the way they treat a person of that race like some sort of property of theirs. Just in the way they speak to them and disrespect them. Okay, it's your nature to beat them up. That's why you want to beat them up. That's why you feel like you should beat them up. And only others physically stop you from attacking them. Because God created you to physically attack human beings who are evil when they do something bad. You actually are created to attack them, get it? Because evil doesn't stop if you speak to it. It's something that stops if you punish it with physical conduct. Action. You have to beat them up. You have to kill them. Such as certain behaviors that deserve death. You get me? They killed someone, you're supposed to kill them. That sort of thing, like eye for eye. If we live in a world where expressing that natural instinct of slapping this person, beating this person up for behaviors that deserve that, if that puts you out of jail, then you're going to have to use third parties. Just don't make the third party HR. You're just simply showing HR your complaint about this human, just so that in the court, they don't say they didn't know and didn't get a chance to fix it. They're liars. So your job is just to expose that about them, that they're obviously, just as you think right now, right? I didn't even specify a specific HR right to you. We're not talking about a specific company. You just know 99% of HR are evil. Like that. Even though the government knows, you're still supposed to expose it. You get me? You're still supposed to have evidence that this specific HR is under that list. You get me? Where's the evidence? Because when they say, but how do you know what we would have done? You didn't give us a chance. That third party is not moral and intelligent and wise enough to see they're lying. They don't know they're humans. So they're going to fall under that and be like they have a point. Okay? They're not going to understand why you didn't go to them. Don't let them make you feel boxed in, as if even the third parties are against you. No, they can work on your side. You can use them if you just play this situation correctly. Do things correctly. Then when HR doesn't do the right thing, you complain about HR to HR. That's the second step. You should be ready to lose your job. You get me? Don't try to protect your job that you can clearly see is under attack. Your job is to get compensation for it, for this abuse that's being directed at you. And then you will also get your job back. Because that's what the EEOC or the government will do. Once the court process ends, they have to give your job back to you. See, better than what HR could have given you, right? The harassment could have stopped, but you still were harassed. You didn't get compensated. A lawsuit is better, and you got fired. You go on unemployment benefits in that time period. 6 months is a long time. You're not going to go looking for some other job unless you really want to. If you know, right, it's just those bullies, and if they're stopped, you could enjoy your job. Okay, then you're just going to go through the government process. They're going to give you your job back. Once the evidence you gave them shows those humans did evil or harassment, they're going to tell them they have to stop. Just what you expected from HR to do for you. And now you get to sue them and get money for the harassment. Is that not better? Did you not get something extra that can emotionally make you feel better? Because money, right? It's like an apology. So don't be afraid to go through this process. It's good for you. It exposes the bully. It gives you compensation for the harassment they did. It brings in third parties, and now they're exposed, and these third parties are your witnesses too, because you gave evidence. And the third parties don't work with the company. They're not something like HR that you cannot trust because they work together. It's an outside party. That's why they have something called EEOC. They're outside of the employer because they're third party. They're going to be neutral. So that's why they're there, and that's why you're supposed to run to them. But humans don't know. When they go on YouTube or Google and they message workplace harassment, the devil takes over. Makes evil humans write thousands of articles overpowering the ones like this advice that would give you something like this. And they're all going to tell you to be scared, avoid it, run away, don't sue them. Horrible things will happen to your job. They'll write something bad about you. You'll never get hired again. These are complete lies. Nothing bad will happen to you. That's not the nature God created. Bad things don't happen when you fight for your rights. Bad things can happen when you just go right in and react to the situation and go to the wrong people. Because that's the enemy you're going to, like HR. Their job is to cover up the abuse of the workplace, not to help you. So they see you as the threat. The way they're supposed to treat the bully, they're treating you like that, get it? But it's covert. In order to protect themselves, they're not going to just attack you. They're going to first wait for that situation to end. A few weeks or months will pass, such as I always experienced. And then they're going to create fake situations, accusing you of things to bring up a case against you now, as if now you did something bad. They'll act like maybe you were abused before, but they're going to act like now you did something bad and now you're the bad one. Because they're just trying to create an excuse to get you fired. Sometimes they're so bold, they fire the person when the person makes a complaint. Because they're not afraid to do something like that, right? That would expose them. Because they know people will not go through the court process. People will give up, so they're not scared. How? It's not human beings. Those are demonic spirits who are harassing you. So they know they're either going to prevent you, and you're probably going to fall into the trap, because they've done that to many humans who just give up. Not because they're weak, but because they're tired. You get me? And they just go to another company. Like that, demons are used to us giving up as human beings from seeking justice, because they make seeking justice very difficult and very long process. You don't want to go to a job every day where you're harassed, especially psychologically or with perverted conduct, and just document. No, you're documenting so that within a month or 2 months of that job, you already are talking to EEOC. You want to just go and risk losing your job and just go hurry up and take the documentation, go to HR, You know what the drill is. You know what the process is. They're going to put it under the wraps, tell you everything's fine now. We spoke to those humans. Okay, and then the bullying will repeat again. That's what I'm saying. Anticipate it. Don't see it as a problem. Oh, I didn't get fixed. What should I do? You didn't help me. I did help you. I'm telling you, this is going to happen. So let it happen. Don't try to prevent it. That's when you're going to fail. Let it happen. Don't allow evil to yourself. Just let them do what they usually do. You get me? They come back. Now you stop them by going to EEOC. Get it? You let HR handle it so you can expose. HR will not have had done the right thing if they had a chance. That's what the government needs to see for every individual HR group. They don't want to put these companies into a box. They know as a government they don't do the right thing. But is that fair to this complete stranger who's a HR? They've never seen what they could do. Because we're all individuals, right? You don't want to put humans in a box. Okay, so just give the government the chance to confidently defend you by exposing these humans, by letting them expose themselves. You don't do anything. Just let them expose themselves. So don't see it as letting them do bad to you. Don't see it as you agreeing to evil or being passive or letting them do bad to you, right? Like you're some weak person. You're not letting anything happen to you. It already happens. They already disrespect you. You get me? The only time you're letting something happen is when you first saw it happen. They just disrespected you. The second time, the third time, that's when you're letting something happen. That's when you're supposed to stop it. And now you're not a weak person. But you're not a weak person when something happens to you the first time because no one told you it was going to happen. You're not God. You don't know this human was going to act inappropriate. So how did you give them power over you? How did you let it happen? You didn't know it was going to happen, correct? Okay, so the first evil conduct is no one's fault. You get me? Because no one would choose to have evil done to them. You get what I'm saying? The second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, some humans actually accept to be submissive to abusers and they allow that to continue. That's when you're weak and passive. And that's what the mind, you're getting thoughts that this seems like when you're just letting these companies, the bullies come back to bother you again. No, it's not. It's the first bad behavior again, the one you cannot predict. Therefore, you're not letting it happen. So when the case got closed and HR handled it, you get me, when they act like they helped you and everything's over, not when they don't, right? When they accuse you and say you're the problem, then quickly go to EEOC. But when things stop, right, they take a break. Don't wait and let those bullies come back and bother you again, because you just know they're going to do that again. That's retaliation. They cannot have that on their record. They have to erase it by creating a situation for you where you're portrayed this time as the initiator or the starter of a problem, so that now they act like they fired you for this reason and not the prior one. You get me? You defending yourself against them doing something bad. They're going to act like they fired you for something new and something else that happened way later in the future. Such as demons will attack your mind, give you so much depression, anxiety, you might start going to work late or missing days. Okay, now they'll act like they're firing you for attendance, but they're the reason you can't go to work and your attendance is bad, right? It's not your fault. You developed anxiety. You get me? So don't do that. Don't actually think it's over. Even if it is, even if HR handled the situation, they actually did. Those humans really did leave you alone. It's over. I'm telling you, you don't want to then go and just keep going to your job, because the traumatic effects of that is a traumatic thing they did to you. They traumatized you. You're still going to experience trauma even if HR helped you. Anxiety, fear, not wanting to go to work. You get me? It's not fair. All they did was simply stop the bully. They didn't treat the injury the bully caused you. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like a cop stopping someone from trying to hit you. But the original way they already hit you, let's say you were bleeding from it. They need to also treat that, correct? It's like HR did not treat you for that. So it doesn't mean you're accusing HR of not helping you if you still do what I'm trying to tell you to do, no matter what they do, whether they help you or not. I'm telling you to go to the EEOC and file a lawsuit and get money compensation for the trauma they caused you, those bullies. Or also the HR if they didn't help you. It doesn't mean if HR helps you, then it's wrong to go to the EEOC, as if that's the only time to go to them when HR doesn't help you. No. Going to EEOC simply means you're creating a trail, a record with a third party that's outside of this company, right? Which obviously works together. You don't want the abuser to do abuse to you and they fix it. That's not good. You want a third party to fix it. So even if the abuser agreed to leave you alone, or right, someone next to them made them leave you alone, it's still like the abuser saying, okay, HR is like the abuser. You get me? Because they're mixed with the bully. They're in the same company. So you're not supposed to feel safe just because HR helped you, because they're just like the abuser. They're not outside of the abuser. They're not a third party. Do you trust abusers? No. So you're not supposed to trust HR. Even if they helped you and did the right thing, you're not supposed to trust them, get it? You're not supposed to, you're not supposed to relax, because they're like your enemy. They're not someone you're supposed to trust. You need a third party that has nothing against you. They're not biased. HR is biased. They might have maybe stopped that bully, but they're still biased. They work for the company. Good moral people don't take this job also. So it's just evil humans. They just might have done the right thing in this situation, but since they're evil, their demons will come to them and say, how could you let this happen? Because when evil humans are defeated, right, they're punished. Demons project to them this sort of feeling that they somehow were allowing themselves to be mistreated. Can you believe that? And that therefore they should come up to you and attack you for that reason, as if you mistreated them. They put that kind of nonsense into them. That's why they're called crazy. Get out. That's why a person of God like me will call an evil human crazy rather than only evil, because they twist reality. They act like the good person. When the good person held them accountable and got justice, they act like they, the evil human who did something bad and they deserve to be punished, they're going to act like they're the victim, that somehow someone took away something from them. So then that is what they use to then come back to you and, you get me, abuse you again. Because they're acting like they're the ones who were put in a submissive situation. And the victim was acting dominant. You get me? Something evil. What the hell? You get me? They're going to act like you took away something from them, like their humanity or something, by simply stopping the bad they did. Or when they were used to do the right thing and hold an evil human like themselves accountable. Right? They were not happy with it, but they had to do the right thing. They can't get so bitter about that. Do you see what I'm saying? Because that's not their sort of thing. They're evil. It's not comfortable for them to do the right thing. So they feel mad at you for making them do the right thing. So they think they should come after you. But since they don't like to be exposed, they're not going to do it directly. They're going to create a situation for you. Okay? And they have demons working with them. The demons can create a situation for you outside of that human's influence. You don't want to go to work anymore. You can't get up. Anxiety, panic attacks. They created an outside situation for you. Their demons caused you anxiety. Sometimes the human knows that. They know their demons are working against you. If they connect with demons like that, sometimes they interact with them, right? Some evil humans actually interact with demons, right? They do witchcraft with them. They actually know on a higher level, what they're doing to other people. And some humans, demons are just possessing them, operating against others. But that human doesn't know. The demons possessing them was hurting that person. You get me? They don't know. So it's their demons, it's that human, the way they treated you, the way, they allowed you to feel, even if they acted like they were doing the right thing, they didn't make you feel safe and comfortable. That trauma caused you to not want to go to work. Now you're missing your your day, what is it called? You're missing attendance. That's their fault. So they're attacking you. But in that covert way, they created a situation for you. Now they're going to use that against you to fire you. And they're not going to take too long. Boom, instantly, they'll bye, have a nice day. They're going to fire. The government is not moral. So they're not going to connect your bad attendance to the fact that just recently you were abused or harassed before that or bullied right before that. They're not going to then say that was a consequence of the bullying. This person usually would not have missed attendance. Therefore, hire them back. Because it's not really an actual person who's quitting their job. You get me? No one's going to have that morality like I'm talking to you. Because they're not a person of God. Okay? So it doesn't matter if HR helps you or not. You're still supposed to go to EEOC, take legal action because you want to sue those bullies for financial compensation. Why? Because they traumatized you. One, they did evil to you, right? What if maybe you didn't get traumatized? But these types of behaviors usually traumatize people because you work with them on a regular basis. It's not someone in the street you won't see again. Right? Obviously, behaviors from a street, from a stranger you won't see again can also traumatize you depending on how extreme it is. But just the idea, it's more traumatic because you're going to have to go back to that environment and deal with them now, right? Act like nothing happened. You're going to talk to them like coworkers. Okay, so you need to be compensated. You need something that says, I'm sorry. Compensation just means we're sorry. Not the bullies necessarily, right? Because they're evil. It's like third parties making them look at you and punishing them by making them give you something as an apology. You get me? It doesn't mean they feel sorry. It means they're being made to apologize to you. You know what I mean? It's not a verbal apology. It's like a psychological apology where they're agreeing they did something wrong by giving you something that will somehow benefit you in life, like money, right? It could be other things too in different contexts, right? Like maybe they testify, or, right? Take something out of your record. Maybe they accuse you of something and they testify that they lied. Like that, they have to do something to basically fix what they did. The damage they caused you. So they need to compensate you. That's your human right. If people of God were here, even if you cuss someone out in a context where you're hurting them, because obviously good people can cuss you out because you harass them. That's normal. You're not going to punish them for that. No, when a human rights harassing you, even something at a lower level of just cussing you out, right? Their bad behavior is something like sort of lower, not physical. Even if righteous or if righteous or people of God were here, they'd create a way to make them compensate you for that trauma they caused you. You get me? And when humans die, that's what God will do it. Every bad conduct is a sin to God. He's going to make them be punished for that. And it's like you're going to be compensated spiritually if you ever end up in paradise. You get me? Which a lot of humans will go to hell anyway, even if they were victims, because they also are evil too. They're highly, unhealthy, toxic humans too. Those who complain about being abused, they themselves are not good people anyway. But real good people who do end up going to paradise, well, that's the person that the compensation, is also coming from God in that sense. Where he's giving you a lot of things in paradise. You get me? Not just paradise, because obviously a lot of people are in paradise with you. But the more abused you were, the more you're going to get more, things in paradise. You're going to get more blessings or rewards or things in paradise that you would say are enjoyable to have, It's like materialistic things. Some could be other things. But in the spiritual world, it's not materialistic like in this world, you know? You might want beauty, for example. Okay, but the beauty God would give you in this physical world is different than the one he'd give you in a paradise. That one is greater, and you don't look the same. Now you have a human body. Over there, you don't have a human body. You get me? He gives you a new body. So it's a bigger reward. So yeah, you always want to take legal action. Sue the bullies. Don't sue the company if, right, they don't really deserve it. There are times they deserve it, okay? So be fair to companies. Because you and I could start a company today. You don't believe we should be sued because someone we hired or someone in HR hired for us when we're far away, we're some CEO somewhere else. We don't even know what's happening at our company. You don't believe we should be punished and lose money because of those bad humans, what they did. Did we help them or agree with it? No. So why are you punishing us? Right? Why are you punishing the CEO and the company? They didn't do anything to you. You want to go after the bullies. Just sue them individually. Put them if they're a group, put them in that list and sue them. Right? So you sue, you get basically a record of the abuse that happened in the legal government record. That's what the lawsuit would do, right? It would create a record of this abuse or harassment or crime in the record of the government, right? That's what the lawsuit is doing. And then the other side of the lawsuit, the financial compensation, is giving you money for the trauma they caused you, like a sorry. You're being compensated for the evil they did to you and the trauma they caused you. Now you're not scared to go to work again. Because anyone who bullies you again will just actually do something against themselves. They'll benefit you some way in this world at the same time by giving you money. So you're going to connect being harassed and abused. You're going to connect it to being rewarded for when you expose them with money. And the bully, the abuser, they have to put their head down and give you money. You get me? As an apology. You get to enjoy that humiliation they're put through, which is punishment. You get me? It's the moral type of humiliation they deserve. Get me? So you're going to enjoy the psychological witness that you're seeing, right? You're witnessing this evil human being punished or humiliated for the evil they did to you by being forced to give you money from their paycheck. Get it? They use their job to abuse you. Do you agree? If they didn't work at that company, could they bully you? No. So isn't it their job they use to bully you? Okay, so you getting their money from their salary is a perfect punishment then. Do you agree? That's why you should sue those who actually harassed you from an employer or a building, like a place you rented. Like suing a neighbor. If the landlord didn't do anything, then okay, sue the neighbor. You get me? You don't want to sue companies. The company didn't do anything to you. Sue the actual individuals who actually did evil conduct, because that's you being just. You're holding accountable those who actually did something evil, not innocent people who just happen to also work there. You're not suing the whole company and you're hurting other people who are innocent like you. That's not fair. Okay, so be just. Okay, and then now you can always go back to that company if you want. Who's going to bother you again? They're going to have to go through the same process. The government will have now more evidence, right, that these humans are really criminal. They might go to jail. But if they repeat the offense, so they're not going to, because it's just going to serve as more evidence that they're guilty. And as they were being punished and being made to give you money as compensation in that lawsuit, as they were being made to agree with the fact that, yes, you do have evidence and they harass you, they were still defending themselves, right? A quality of evil. They twist logic and reality even when the evidence is right in front of them. Because it's not because they actually want to do that or believe in that. No, it's to psychologically torture you, the human race, that's trying to hold them accountable, whoever you are that moment. It just means an evil human or an evil other type of being, like species, like demons, It just means since they're evil, right? You don't believe evil stops just because you hold someone accountable. Do you agree? If a human is evil, you believe if you hold them accountable, they stop being evil. No, right? You're simply just holding them accountable. Okay, so stop expecting or being confused or being surprised. I'm sorry, stop being confused or surprised when they continue to do evil as they're being held accountable, like at a court trial. You get me? Because you already know they're evil. They didn't stop being evil if you hold them accountable. So then when they're continuing to just express what they already were, right, which is evil, in defending themselves, lying, twisting reality, even in the face of evidence against them, why do you all get confused and shocked? You get me? Like that's what evil means. Evil means lying. So you weren't confused when they lied about you in that prior incident where they harassed you, correct? Because you just thought that's an evil person. You're not confused, correct? Because it's not strange to see why that's happening. God created evil. You know some humans will become evil. So when you see bad behavior, are you confused? No, right? Because you already know why. You know evil is out there. You'd be confused if you don't know evil is created. You get me? If evil is out there. You'd be asking yourself, where did this come from? What is this? You get me? But if you already believe there's evil in the world, there's evil humans in the world, then why would you be confused when you see one? No, because you're already expecting it. At some point you'll see evil, right? Okay, so why are you confused when you see evil? When they were acting evil in front of you, they were lying right in front of you as you were defending yourself by giving information that stops them from lying, and they continue to lie. Just as you were not shocked in that moment, right? Because you just know it's a bad human. That's what they do. Then stop being shocked. Even throughout the court process, they still arguing and fighting with the judge and everything. It doesn't matter. Just let them be that child. Let them throw that tantrum. They're crazy. Get it? Evil means you're also crazy. Let them be crazy. You get me? It's better for you. The more an evil human you exposed continues to act more evil in a way that doesn't hurt you or affect you, because that's wrong, obviously, you're supposed to stop them. No, in a way that doesn't hurt you. Third parties are already involved. They're stopping them and protecting you. They're just, you get me, reacting, going crazy. That's better for you, the victim, because it gives more evidence that you were the victim. Okay, so let them cuss people out when the judge says pay this person $20,000. Let them get up and go crazy and say crazy things. Don't be like, how is this possible? Why is this human not stopping? Don't expect them to stop. Because they're reacting that way because they never thought they would be exposed. They can't believe it. Because some of them get away with it so much. Their demons help them. If they could believe they could be exposed, okay, then they're just not happy with being exposed. Do you agree if you're evil and you get held accountable, you're not going to be happy? Because they don't like punishment, obviously. You get me? They don't like to feel bad or be reminded that they're bad. You get me? They're evil, but they like to act like us, good people. That's what it means to be crazy. See what I'm trying to show you? Why they're crazy? They don't want to act like they're evil. They don't want to act like the way they choose to be is bad and harmful to themselves and others. They know that. They agree with that. They're not different than you and I. They're human and they know everything. It's just, evil means psychologically twisted. It just means you're twisting what's normal in reality. So they're never going to speak normally. You get me? They're going to speak the opposite of reality and normal. They're going to act like there's nothing wrong with them. They're not doing that because God just randomly created evil with this type of psychology or quality. No, they're doing that to do more evil. They're not done. It's another evil conduct or sin. You get me? They twist reality. They don't react like you expect as another way to hurt you again, psychologically torture you. You get me? It just means the evil they do just continues until they die. Humans just think when you're punishing an evil human, right, which is like a criminal, right, who actually is a criminal, because innocent people get accused of being criminal, they actually think that in that moment of being judged, that then they're going to be quieter, sort of acknowledge things. But why do you expect them to acknowledge their wrongdoing? That quality is morality. They don't have morality. They have a quality of the opposite of being truthful, which is lying, correct? Okay, so they're going to continue to lie, continue to say they didn't do anything, even when they are made to see a video of themselves shooting someone. Do you get what I'm saying? Evil means you're a liar. So they're going to continue to lie even when convicted and it was, correct conviction. You get me? They're not lying because I'm just trying to say, stop being surprised that they continue to not stop being evil. You get me? Because as long as they didn't repent and stop enjoying being evil, as long as they didn't change in their heart and mind to hating the evil they have chosen for themselves, as long as they didn't change, you get me? Stop expecting them, therefore, to stop being evil. You get me? Because they didn't change yet. They didn't repent. They didn't sit somewhere reflecting and say they won't be like this anymore and feel guilt and shame. Do you get me? So stop expecting them to feel guilt and shame in front of you, the victim. You guys get on my nerves. Guilt and shame is something they feel internally with themselves. It's an internal thing. And then if they believe in a God, they'll talk to God and express that to him, and then they'll repent. That's something they do alone, internally. Just as when they became evil, they did it alone internally. Did they go to the human race and get everyone's permission or show everyone they're becoming evil? No. So then that happened internally and secretly. When humans become evil, it happens secretly, correct? They just in their heart. Can you see someone's heart? Can you see their mind? Okay, so those are the two areas that become evil. How do you become evil? Hatred and envy enters those two parts, the heart and the mind, those two places. So then the opposite will enter. Guilt and shame, which then will lead to love and no longer hatred. They'll become loving and no longer hateful and envious. They'll become comfortable with what they have and they won't be envious anymore of others. It's still going to happen in their heart and mind. You're never going to see it. It's still internal. Okay, so stop expecting them to show that to you, the victim. They cannot show that to you. You'll just notice they're different. Their energy, their face, their body just looks different now, good now. You get me? Obviously, if they're evil, right, they did something really harmful, they're never going to look good to you. You get me? Because you can't erase what you were just because you stopped it and repented. You're still going to look nasty to people who are like me, who are really able to see your energy. It's just that, you get me, people will at least notice you're not choosing to operate from hate. You're choosing to operate from a place of morality, which just means love, okay? Evil just means hatred. Good just means love. Stop giving them dominance over you. This is an act of creepy behavior you're doing to yourself. You're like being creepy yourself. You get me? You're being creepy because you're giving dominance to another creation of God like yourself. By caring so much what these humans do, why they harass you, why they bother, stop doing that. The devil does that to your mind. He puts thoughts and intrusive, obsessive thoughts about how they acted and why you get me. But only weird, creepy humans, really weak, strange humans, which is a majority, will sit there and actually think about someone who harassed them all day. You get me? You don't think much of people who are evil and bad, right? You look down on them. You think you're better than them, which is a moral thing to do if you're a good person. That's not arrogance. You get me? Because you are better than them. You get me? Good is better than evil. So obviously, you don't think about them. You get me? Thinking about them means you're giving them dominance over you. That's an evil conduct you're doing to yourself and a sin against God, because you're giving them dominance over you when only God is dominant over you. Do you get what I mean by sin? It's not just an unhealthy thing. It's actually a sin against God. sometimes you're not giving them dominance. The devil is just coming over your mind and putting false fear into your mind. We're not talking about that. When you're sort of overwhelmed mentally, that's not you giving them dominance over you then, right? Because somehow all this is coming over your mind, or you're uncomfortable, or you're scared, and you know, to be strong. No, I'm talking about when you actually treat them like they're dominant. You get me? You're actually submissive to them. Okay, that's a sin because you're submissive only to God. You get me? Islam, for example, just means literally submission to God Almighty. You get me? But this submissiveness to God is not like submissiveness to a human or creation. You know, this sort of creepy, bad thing. He's different. He's a God. You get me? You're not lowering yourself. You're not saying to him he can do bad to you. You're not agreeing to something bad when you're submissive to him. You being submissive to God simply means you're acknowledging the fact that he's stronger than you. Do you agree he is? He created your body. He put life into you. Your body does not give you life. Your soul gives you life. So when you die, your soul is taken out by angel. Then the physical body you have, okay, it dies. It no longer acts. You know, like a costume. It becomes like when you take off the costume, how empty it is. Right? Because there's no person inside. That person is like the soul. You get me? He gave it life or character. It animated it. So God gave you a soul, which gives you life. He gave you a body. He gave you a mind. Right? In that body, there's a heart. It feels. He gave you a conscience that can see good versus evil. You just know right from wrong internally. He gave you many other things. So you get me? He's worthy to be worshipped. It's okay. It's normal to give him submission. Because one, he's a good God. He's not evil. You get me? So it's not weird to be worshiping him then, you get me? To connect with him or have a relationship with him. But two, he's dominant over us in the sense that this dominance is not an evil one. The evil one only comes from his creation. You cannot dominate each other as a creation because you're equal to each other. That's literally it. So if you're equal to someone and they act out like they're above you, isn't that evil? Okay. Supernatural creations of God, right? Like supernatural humans, like he uses as leaders, including supernatural creations of angels. Of course, they're better than you in certain qualities, right? But are they dominant over you in the sense that they can control you? No, control means you have to create them. Okay, so only God, therefore, has that dominance over you. You get me? Because he can actually create you, correct? He can own you then. Own. You get me? Your body belongs to him. Okay? So we're stronger than each other. We're better than each other, but we are not dominant over each other. We're equal to each other because we're all creation. None of us created each other. So since dominance belongs to God, when a creation acts dominant over each other, then we connect it to evil humans and spirits and other species that are evil. Good people don't act dominant over you. They just better than you. Look at my words. Because the word dominant already implies that you're not actually dominant, but you're acting like it. It just makes you instinctively think it's wrong, but better? Someone could be better, right? Can someone be better than you at writing? Yeah. It's like that. It's a skill. Okay, so morality. Some people are more moral than you. They're better than you in their heart, in their love, in their character. So that's not weird to call them better than you. That's not dominance. Because good is better than evil. We can say the concept, keyword concept, of good is dominant over the concept of evil. Good can dominate and destroy evil. You get me? But a creation, they're equal to each other. Only a creator can be dominant over you. Terminology matters for that reason. You see how these words seem similar? You have to be careful with your words. So take that legal action. It's okay. You lose your job in the process. They'll give it back to you. You have 6 months to use that money, whether they give it back to you or not. The unemployment money as well as the lawsuit money you'll get to start your business and do something else with your life. Buy a house. It's good. Let them act harassing and bully you. Let them bully you. Let them harass you. I don't actually mean let them bully you and harass you, okay? I meant when it happens. You get me? It's only bad for you if you don't judge them, if you don't take punishment for them legally. That's when you're actually giving them power or dominance and actually letting someone act, right, get away with something, sadly. And sometimes you don't want that to happen. You know, situations push you away from that. Of course, we're not going to then say you allowed yourself to not punish someone, right? Because situations that are bad can come upon you and you don't get a chance to punish them. But don't be a coward. If you had a choice and actually run away from it, you get me? Don't do it out of cowardliness. Especially since that evil is going to continue. Who's going to expose them if you don't? Probably the next humans will probably be the weak ones. Maybe you were the only one who really could have gone through the legal process. And those humans would have finally tasted what, normalcy looks like, being held accountable, right? Because you're probably used to being held accountable, right? They're not, and that's why they act that way. So imagine you don't ever get to show them that normalcy. Punish them, something they deserve. They're going to just get worse and worse and worse. They're going to literally start to think human race is weak. Not literally, right? They know obviously strong people are created by God. They're evil humans. They know moral people are strong and they're scared of them. I mean, like, they just think, right, that those humans may not exist anymore in this time. They might think just weak humans who choose to be submissive to them exist. You get me? They just may not have a good perspective of who's here, Someone like you who's not gonna let them get away with it if you had a choice. So you're not obviously doing that, right? To put them in their place, right? As if you somehow care what they think, right? Like this creepy sort of thing where you care what they think. I just told you that's creepy. No, you're holding them accountable because you're supposed to hold evil accountable. You're just doing something God created you to do, which is upholding justice. God actually commands you to do the right thing. It's not a choice, okay? Just so you know. If you don't do the right thing in a situation where you could have done it, right? Like, you're not a bad person if you didn't do something, right? Maybe something happened, you couldn't help them. But if you really could have, right? And you just watched, that's a sin. If you just sit there and watch, right? Evil happening to others or yourself, that's a sin. That's a crime against God. You're going to go to hell. Of course, you repentant. God obviously can forgive you, right? That's what repentance is for. Don't repeat it again, right? But you get what I'm saying. It's a sin. But also because of that vengeance quality that all humans who are good have, all humans who are moral and more righteous than them have, the righteous ones. Just average good humans or righteous, like way higher in morality. They all have the quality of vengeance where they exactly want to punish the bad one. Because exactly, that thing is not dominant over you. You're better than them. And if you're evil human too and you just happen to be the victim, well, they're just either way not dominant over you or you're just not better than them. God is dominant over you. So you're angry at that? How dare you act dominant over me?
How dare you act like God? Therefore, out of the anger, you want to go punish them. Okay, so it's also vengeance, not just doing the right thing to always uphold that, right? Evil should not become something accepted, in this world. You're upholding justice because you don't want evil to become something that's, able to get away with it, right? Because then it'll act like it's normal. So for you to constantly uphold the fact that only good is normal, you get me? You know that, but in order to uphold that standard, you have to always make sure good wins. You have to always do the right thing of stopping evil, which is also an act of good, right? Doing justice, which is, right, an act of doing good. So you're upholding good. You're upholding the fact that normalcy means good and not evil. You're saying evil is not normal when you hold it accountable. You get me? If you don't hold it accountable, it's like you're saying that's normal. You get me? Which is why evil humans then don't stop if you don't ever stop them yourself. You get me? If you don't say something, if you don't do something, because they're acting like then it's normal. Not just because they're evil, right? And they just do evil, right? They obviously enjoy what they're doing. They enjoy hurting people because their heart is dark. I don't mean enjoy, right, as if it actually feels good. It doesn't feel good. They just wicked, okay? They have a darkness. But what was I saying? They're going to do that thing I told you where they're crazy. They're going to act psychologically twisted and act like, keyword, act like. Just like when they lie, they act like their lie is true. They're going to act like the evil they did is normal as long as society doesn't stop them. Because that's just what God created evil to be. Evil is like a character. And whatever bad humans do, right, is the character always coming out of all of them. You get me? And good is like a character. So don't let the devil bring out qualities of evil, right? Like being submissive, because evil humans are submissive. They're the ones who give dominance to each other. They're the ones who've been abused by something. Some human who was evil like them, and they allowed themselves to be evil. And now they think they should continue that pattern to others. They mess with the wrong people, obviously, sometimes. They bother people who are stronger than them, obviously, because they're not the ones doing it. They have demons working through them who are possessing them. Demons are not strong, so why are they able to do it? God allows them to do it. He gives them power. So it's not fair battle, okay? So don't allow the devil to put that into your head. But that human in me, obviously I'm the strong one. How could they act like? Don't let him put that into your head. Because then you're really going to get angry and you might kill them. Okay. In God's eyes, that's fine in certain contexts. But I told you, in a world where religion, the moral, healthy way from God is not upheld, you're going to be put in prison as if you did something wrong. Because the evil ones are creating the laws, not the righteous who would not care if you do that. Because that's normal. You get me? You killed someone who deserved to be killed. What I'm saying is, there are situations where you have the right to kill, but since you don't live in a world where God's laws are here, because his religions are corrupted, you gotta be the smart one and protect yourself. Always going the legal way and not, right, letting the devil use that against you, your natural instinct to be aggressive. You use that aggressiveness to just stand up for yourself and go the legal way. To always speak up for yourself and not be silent, but speak in a way where you're not talking so much. You're not defending yourself. You're not arguing, which is not really something you would have done if you were healthy. You do that over time due to being in situations where you were never rewarded for doing the right thing and speaking up for yourself. You were always treated as if you were too much or wrong. You get me? Because evil humans are here, controlling those areas that would normally reward you, like HR, government, society, the humans who would, right, be the third party. So for that reason, you are trying to speak up for yourself, but you might do it in an unhealthy way. Acting like you have to defend yourself. You don't have to, because that's sort of like giving power to that human, dominance, as if you have to defend yourself to them, especially if they know what happened. They're not a third party, and they're the one that, another third party that's evil. But if they're actually the one who did evil and you're stopping them, then you don't have to explain anything because they know it too. They want that energy, that sort of power over you. So you're just supposed to say like a one statement, be professional. I did that one time to this crazy employee who started to all of a sudden talk like they were talking to some object. Hey, listen! After lying about me, giving false information about me, accusing me bluntly right on the phone. The more I didn't respond or say anything, the more they took that as permission to just get worse and worse and worse. And because they're getting worse, you don't have a choice because they're going to start to say something, right, that they just accused you of or they lied about. That's extreme than the sort of prior ones. So then you are going to speak. So right now, they are trying to push you to speak, right? Because you didn't give energy to them. You treated them like a crazy person. You were just hearing what they're saying. You're letting it pass. You're not giving them power. You're not acting like you have to defend yourself. You don't care. And they realize that. And they just keep talking. They fix what they said. Right? They just continue with what they were supposed to do for you, like that service they were supposed to offer you. Right? Why didn't I get this service? Or I came to do this. That's why I'm calling. Oh, I see that you didn't do this. I see that, but you don't respond to that. I did it. What do you mean? Don't fight with them. Don't argue. They know that. That's just a way to get you to give energy to them. It's a demonic also, not just the evil human. They have no energy because they're evil. They do bad all day. They lose energy. They become depleted. So they need other people's energy, which is your emotional investment. Don't feel anything. Don't say anything. It doesn't mean you're allowing them to accuse you. They're going to fix what they just said because you didn't react. They're going to just move on and just be like, okay, here's your service. I booked you for this, blah, blah, blah. You get me? They're just gonna stop. It's not that type of accusation where someone actually says, you did this. You get me? And it's something you actually have to deal with. This is more of a sneaky way of twisting things and what you did and just hoping for you to sort of argue. Don't waste your energy. They're gonna fix it, okay? But if you feel like, right, at the end of their dialogue where they were just talking nonstop, they didn't fix it, which is probably what's going to happen. They're going to get worse, and then they're going to accuse you of other things that now you cannot ignore, right? And just let them act like a crazy. I told you, don't allow. I'm not telling you to allow them. I'm saying let them expose themselves. Let them say those lies out of their mouth. So when I say don't give energy to them, that's to preserve your energy, to protect you from doing behaviors that are unhealthy and becoming weak in the process. And when you talk, the witchcraft is going to attack you, which is why your heart beats and your throat shakes and your voice sort of gets weaker and your voice gets lower. And you're trying to resist it, but it's like fear, like emotion is overtaking your heart or respiratory area. That's what I'm saying. So just let them finish because that fear is going to come out. It's going to leave you when you don't respond right away. You get me? It wants to try to push you to respond right away by making it seem like if you respond right away, then the fear stops. No, the fear is trying to make you speak instead of just first hearing what this human is saying, so that then you can use that as evidence that they lied about you, accused you. You get me? Your job is to expose them like some villainous person. Your job is to be a villain, the moral one. Let them expose themselves, because if you quickly stop what they're saying the first time, then they can just change it. They're gonna be like, I see that you were supposed to be here yesterday for this appointment. No, if you just quickly defend yourself, then they're gonna be like, no, I didn't say that. I didn't say you were supposed to be here. They're manipulative. They got what they wanted. They got you to respond right away without them even finishing their sentence, because they put fear into your heart of the fact that they possibly will accuse you right before they even finish their sentence. They're going to be like, no, I wasn't trying to say you didn't come to an appointment yesterday. I'm saying that it seems like you were scheduled for an appointment, but you didn't appear. But I see that. Sorry about the noise. They're going to be like I was saying, that you were supposed to, I'm sorry, they're going to be like, I see, no, I was trying to say that it looks like you were scheduled for this appointment yesterday, that you were about to appear, but I see that you actually were never scheduled for it. They're going to flip it and act like someone else said that. Some other record or some computer system somehow said that about you and not them, when you know it's them who are just lying. They weren't looking at their record or something, like some call center employee who just tells you what's on their record. That human's not lying. They're just telling you what's on the record. That could be false. That doesn't mean they're lying, right? It depends. But they're going to act like some other source is what they were reading or something, as if they were reading something. And their conclusion is that you didn't do anything wrong. They're going to twist it at the end because you responded too early. So when I say let them finish, I'm not saying allow evil. No, they're going to expose themselves. You need evidence that they were lying about you. If you speak too early, they're going to defend themselves like this, and you agree. You can't say this human had this intention. You and I know their bad intention, but where's the evidence? You get me? You need the evidence either way. We're not God, right? God can just convict them. He doesn't need them to finish their sentence. But we're a creation, you know? We can say the person spoke to us in a bad way. The way they spoke obviously seems like, duh, they're accusing us. Yeah, but evil humans are not going to agree with what we see. They're going to act like there's not enough evidence. A good person knows they were accusing you. Because if someone was not trying to accuse you, then they'll separate what they're saying from themselves. They're going to be like, I see on the computer that it says. They're going to separate it from themselves. That is not them who are saying that about you. But an evil human, right, since they actually are accusing you, they're going to do exactly what a human who accuses others does. They're going to say you were supposed to do something that you were not supposed to do. They're going to say you missed something that you didn't miss. And when you confront them, then they're going to act like some other source said that and they were just saying that back to you. You get me? They're going to use the fact that actually over there happens, right? People would sometimes read things to you. They're going to act like they were doing that. They're not doing that, obviously, because they would have told you that they're reading something and it's not them. I see on my computer that they're not saying that. They just said you didn't appear yesterday. You get me? But you don't live in a righteous world where righteous people are in charge. So they're going to get away with acting like you don't have enough evidence, even though you do. So let them expose themselves in a more easier way for human beings. Don't let them go too far. Just the first or two lies is enough. Then you stop them and you interrupt them and you say, be professional with me. Don't say to them, don't lie about me, don't disrespect me. Don't tell them not to do the bad behaviors they're doing, because they're going to just lie and act like that wasn't bad behavior. Just say what they're supposed to do. Be polite to me or be professional to me. You see, what they're supposed to do, tell them that. Not the behavior they're supposed to stop, but the behavior opposite of that they were supposed to do. That they were supposed to be professional with you and not get personal and harass you. Right? Okay, so tell them to just be professional with you. Now that intimidates them to death, because that obviously means they were not professional. And that's what they usually tell third parties in HR when you normally reported them, right? They would have told people they're the professional one. You're the not professional one. They're going to act like you attacked them and got personal and cussed them out. You get me? They're going to project their qualities to you. So when you say be professional with me, it shows that you're professional and that they're personal. They're getting personal with someone, and that you're very calm, mature. It shows that you're calm, you're mature, you're patient, you're professional, there you go. It shows your good qualities that you were choosing to express in this moment. It means you were being professional by telling this human to also be professional. It means they weren't. Now they're going to shut up, just like this human did. Just one sentence was enough. But before they shut up, they argued and just kept saying, I am professional. Same thing. If I responded right away and said to them, no, you're not professional. See? They want you to explain to them what they're doing. You're not supposed to explain to a human what they just did wrong. They know that. What the hell? They did it. When you explain to them, that's not a normal thing to do. That's a bad thing to do, but demons push that to you without you knowing. It's a fearful response. It's a weak place. It doesn't come from a place of strength and assertiveness. They push that to you. And when you do it, that to them means, bingo, we got you. So then they get worse. Because you just did a behavior that to them is a signal for somehow that you lost. You get me? You don't know that. That's how they think. Because you're not like this type of psychopath. You get me? To them, the signal is you defending yourself. You're arguing. To them, that's weakness. Because if you were not coming from a place of fear, but from a place of calm, you would also agree that's weakness. You would also agree if you have nothing to defend yourself for, you don't defend yourself. Correct? You usually fix what humans say. You correct them when they're sort of just giving wrong information. It says you had an appointment yesterday. No, I didn't. Okay, like that. Someone like that who's not really accusing you. That's when you sort of fix what people say. You correct them, right? You're not arguing with them. You're not defensive or scared or weak. You're not coming from a weak place or fearful or helpless place, because that's giving power either to the situation. Sometimes you're not giving power to the human, or also to the human. It depends. But this is an evil human. They are actually lying about you and accusing you, and you know that because you're human. Your instincts, your guts tell you as you talk to them. Duh, and their words obviously show that. That's the one you don't want to say anything to. You get me? Because it's intentional. What's the point of telling them? You get me? What are you going to achieve? But someone who's not accusing you, but they're simply telling you they have information about you that's false, when you correct them and say, well, actually really did happen, that's not weakness or submissiveness or giving dominance to that human. Because they're not the ones saying that about you. A third source of information, like their computer, is saying that. When you tell them, they say, okay, or even apologize, which is better. And they fix it. They fix the computer. They fix... You get me? They take your word and they put it in the record. That's just someone doing their job. That's a misunderstanding. Not someone targeting you and lying about you. Why would you defend yourself to them? That's you giving them power over you, as if it matters what they think of you. As if you're scared of what they think of you and you're trying to actually defend yourself. That's what they see when you defend yourself. Even though you're thinking you're just fixing what the lie that they just said. You get me? They see it differently. That doesn't mean as a human being you're supposed to see how evil humans see things and then flip your natural instincts, what you want to do, and change it because they're going to see it in a weak way. No. This response is a weak way. If this was a normal, healthy, strong response, but they see that as a weakness, of course you're going to keep doing it. That's you giving them power if you stop it. I'm saying the response is a weak way. You just at that moment are in a state of fear and panic. You don't know you're responding in a weak way. So then the devil acts like if you stop yourself and don't respond, right? He acts like that's you being weak. When that's you exercising control over the false fear coming over you, trying to make you do what's weak, which is you talking, defending yourself, arguing, raising your voice, getting angry. You want it to be obvious they're the bully, not you. So don't get angry. Don't raise your voice. You don't have to do anything like that. That could be misunderstood. If someone entered the room that moment, the phone call that moment, don't do that. If the human was not accusing you, you would have normally spoken very calmly to people you're giving correct information who gave you false information, right? From another source where they're not accusing you. You want to still be that calm way with an evil human is what I'm saying. You get me? Because that's your natural state. They want to push you out of that natural, calm way, assertive way, and make you anxious and, oh no, I didn't, excuse me, and then get mad and raise your voice. You get me? That's the psychological, emotional power they want over you. Because that's sort of like, in their mind, you giving them power or power to the situation, not them. They created the situation, so then they're acting like they're powerful. You get me? Evil humans are weak, so they like to make thoughts to themselves as if what they're doing is somehow right power when they do bad to others, when it's just weakness. It's just that it does become power if humans allow it. You know, if you actually allow them to abuse you physically, verbally, psychologically. So let them finish their lie. Let them finish the sentence so that now you actually have an evidence this human just accused you. Then you stop them and say, be professional with me. I am professional. Let them finish. That's a way to get you to come back to that fearful way again. It doesn't benefit you to cut them off again because they're going to act like you're fighting and arguing with them. You're not. Right? They're going to act. They're going to just try to push you to be unhealthy again. So it doesn't mean you're giving them power by letting them finish. No, they're not accusing you anymore. That's when it's wrong to let them finish. You get me? A second time, a third time, a fourth time. No. They're just defending themselves. You get me? They're no longer acting, oh, tough, having nasty attitude and lying about you and accusing you and saying, hey, listen, as if they can shut you up. Now they're saying, I am professional. Now they're the ones who are in a weak state. You push them to be exactly where they belong, in a very weak state. They're not attacking you anymore. They're defending themselves. That obviously will anger you. Because how dare they defend themselves, right? That's the reason they defend themselves, is to do another act of evil after they were held accountable instead of what they were supposed to do, which is shut up. So that then they get the goal they had towards you the first time they did evil that they didn't get from you. You didn't respond the way they wanted, which is an unhealthy way, a reactive, fearful way, argumentative, etc., defensive. So then you responded calm and assertive, and you just told them what they need to do. Be professional with me. It's already saying, don't disrespect me, don't harass me. So it doesn't mean you gave up telling a human what to not do. You're already telling them what to not do when you told them what to do, correct? It's just a perfect way of doing both. But if you tell them, don't disrespect me, you're not telling them then to respect you, right? It does both when you say to them, be respectful. It's saying be respectful and it's saying don't be disrespectful. You're doing both. So it's perfect to speak this way. Again, I don't expect you to use this statement, right? Just whatever you can do that is very calm, but still strong and assertive. You decide that. Every situation is different. It's just an example. Just stop them, okay? Don't let them keep doing this. Don't be scared they're going to accuse you and fire you or anything. Because you need a big reason to fire someone. You know, you cannot just fire someone because they said to you, you know, don't talk to me like that. You know what I mean? That's like maybe if you're a customer and they're like, get out of the store. That's different. Easily you go to their company, they get fired, you know? But a job is bigger than that. So employees cannot fire someone because the person told them, don't talk to me like that. You know what I mean? They'll just maybe report you. And there you go. You gather the evidence. You document the harassment, the abuse, the accusations. You go to the EOC, I already told you what to do. But they cannot fire you for standing up for yourself. But if you argue with them, you give them that reaction, that fear, then they can twist everything, gaslight you, confuse you, make you sometimes say things out of your mouth you don't even know are coming out of your mouth, where you're going against what you just said earlier. Because you get me, witchcraft is being done to your mind, it's demonic. And now you could say things that work against you. You get me? Because they speak very fast to you, very fast. But it's not a calm conversation. It's quick and back and forth. So you might actually say what they wanted. You get me? They put words into your mouth. You might then say the words they just put into your mouth. But see, you don't know that because the conversation is too quick. You get me? It's not calm. So you have to pause a lot. Just pause. They're scared of pausing. If you pause, they feel fear. And it'll give you confidence that you're destroying them, defeating them. because then you're gonna hear on the phone or when you look at their face, you're gonna hear their breathing. They're anxious, they're scared, they're shaking. And that gives you a boost of energy now that you're doing well. Right? That you're getting the reaction from them they should give, because they're human, they're weak. Right? And the thoughts are making it seem like this thing is not scared. How can a human have this much strength who's evil? It's trying to make it seem like they're somehow fearless. But if you pause and you stop going back and forth with them in a conversation, you pause, you slow down this conversation, you don't allow it to turn into what they want. The sort of bickering, back and forth, back. They're so fast for that reason. They interrupt you for that reason. Because the moment they interrupt you, they want you to also cut them off and say, don't talk to me like that. You get me? They want back and forth, because then your brain can easily be attacked by the demons who are working through them, or that human, just the bad behavior. It affects you badly anyway. And you might make a mistake and say something you didn't want. You get me? So you need to be calm and pick your words carefully. But there you go. The demon has a plan for that when people are calm, like I used to be. Then it would accuse you of not being on the phone or not listening, or it'll do that dominant thing even more. You know, it'll act like it's dominant again. It'll act like it can make you say to them, yes. You know? They'll say something and they'll be like, hello? Do you understand? Okay. As if you have to respond with yes, or I understand, or okay. You get me? Something submissive. Instead of they just say what they want to say, you heard them, correct? Just as they heard you. That's what I'm saying. Don't tell them, don't talk to me like that. Don't keep acting like you can force me to say yes to you, or I understand. Otherwise, you're gonna act like I didn't hear you. Don't do that. That's what they want. Because it's not what a strong person does. They're projecting that unhealthy response to you. A strong person tells you what to do. Be professional. Speak to me with respect. Like that. They tell you what to do. When we're in environments where humans cannot retaliate like that, such as coming after your job if you stand up stand up against the evil they just did. That's when you can do the other type of verbal way that you speak, where you stop evil. Don't talk to me like that. That's when you can say things like that. You get me? Just basically stop them. Say something, one or two sentences, but don't speak too much. Don't defend yourself, which means a lot of words. Don't basically recount, right, everything they said and you said, like you're somehow you're talking to some third party. You get me? That's fear. That's coming from a place of fear of being accused. There's no need to be afraid. They already have evidence that you didn't do anything wrong. They were in the conversation with you. They're not a third party that you have to give that information to. And don't do that in a fearful, unhealthy way to the third party either, when you also have to talk to them. Be very calm and assertive. But expect that they might lie about you and accuse you, that they may not support you, that they may not ask for, right, if they don't know anything, a healthy evidence, that they might just go against you. Expect it, so that then it doesn't affect you or shock you or anger you. Just expect that in these type of situations where you're around humans who are negative, expect that then the next one, the third one, the fourth one, the fifth one will also be the same, so that then it doesn't shock you, because they usually are. But don't be too unhealthy and too negative either. You get me? You're expecting that these humans may not be good humans, right? As you go into third parties or others, but you're not telling yourself that they're not going to do the right thing. You're not telling yourself they're not going to respect you. You're not telling yourself they're going to also speak badly. No, you're telling yourself they will do the right thing. They will listen. They will be polite. They will be normal. You're seeing that they will behave, but you're seeing that exactly their character is not good. Probably whoever you'll talk to. You get me? But that they'll behave because you're being assertive and you're being healthy. You get me? That's the reason they'll behave. But don't connect the fact that you think they'll behave normally to the fact that you think, right, that third party over there is good. The average human is bad. So in order to not get shocked and not have that overwhelm you and you make mistakes, just anticipate that. But don't anticipate being harassed by the next person. You get me? Anticipate that they're evil, but don't anticipate that they'll do evil, because you're anticipating that you'll be respected. You get me? They could be evil, but that doesn't mean they'll do evil, because that depends on what you allow or how strong you are. When someone else already went ahead of them and acted evil, you stop that one. The second one, third one, fourth one is going to get scared and not do that. You get me? Because you can, obviously you're a strong person sometimes and they still harass you, right? Because I told you it's not humans doing it. They're possessed. God gave the devil power to do that. You know? So it's not a fair battle between us and demons. They're not coming with their natural power. They're coming with power God created. So it's not their power. God created it. So it's like you're being defeated. Not being defeated, sorry. You're being affected negatively by God's power. Don't think demons did that. You get me? You're only choosing to be weak when, right, you've already seen evil and then you don't stop it. You get me? The first time you saw it, you didn't give permission for it to happen, correct? You didn't give permission to it. It just attacked you. Therefore, you're not weak. So the first disrespectful human doesn't mean you're weak. But the second time they do it, the third time they do it, right? It just keeps going, or others do it. Then you're choosing to be weak. Are you weak though? No, you can always stop that and become strong. You get me? So yeah, they're gonna do that defensive thing. I am being professional, and then they're gonna get tired and stop because they realize they're not gonna get a reaction. You're pausing, you're intimidating them because you're very serious and angry, right? Like some parent might be or an adult might be when a kid is misbehaving, the way they, right, are not that moment being treated like the hey way that adults treat them, but very serious way. Right? These people are angry now, like that. This human will remember that as a kid. Right? When humans overall were serious with them, they know this is not funny. This adult is serious. So they'll shut up. You get me? They're scared of you being aggressive in an internal way and not in an external way. Because internal is where you really are dominating the situation, this evil. Because you're supposed to dominate evil. It's the way that you're destroying this evil human. You get me? Not through are you getting aggressive or anything like that, but internally, the way you're just controlling the situation with your feelings. You know what I mean? You're like angry, but it's like rage and it's not anger. You get me? It's like the type of anger that's there, but it's like serious, like powerful, but it's not, oh, it's not unhealthy like that, where you're sort of controlled by the emotion, right? You don't want the anger to control you. You want to control it. You want to be the anger. You don't want it to come over you like some emotion. That human who's evil should feel like your anger that moment, like anger somehow, like some sort of energy or something somehow mixed with you, you know, and you became anger, you know. They know you're angry. They know you're serious. They know you're not gonna argue with them. They know you're not gonna, right, be that sort of thing they think is weak, you know, or maybe off guard, where you're just sort of innocently like, what do you mean? Like, you're not innocent like that now. You're serious. They're gonna shut up. Again, you don't have to be angry. I'm saying if you do get angry, then that they're gonna feel it. You could just be calm. You could be laughing at them, but just don't respond when they're defending themselves. Then they're gonna stop defending themselves, and they're not gonna speak to you disrespectfully again because they got the point. They got the point. You're not gonna allow them, and then they're gonna just take a long pause. They're gonna have a long gap because finally the demon that was making them sort of like some sort of human that's being dragged, right? Right, sort of brain fogging this evil human. It was just making them talk, not giving them a chance to see, right, what they're doing. It's like they lose their consciousness. Now they become conscious. They know what they just did. Now they sort of like become conscious of it. You get me? It's like they start to realize what they just did and that they're in trouble. They're gonna be quiet. Again, what you expected, right? You expected evil human to feel that way. But you were confused at this sort of fearlessness where they just talk nonstop, right? They're not scared. Because you're talking back to them. You talk, they talk. You talk, they talk. They don't get to feel fear. You get me? So they become fearless in that sense to keep going with their bad behavior. You pause, you're making them feel scared now, because pausing means I'm serious. I'm not playing around with you. I'm angry now. I'm aggressive to you. Okay, then they're going to shut up. You don't have to be aggressive. You get me? You could be laughing. You don't have to be angry on the other side. Just pause. You're showing an emotional reaction, not a verbal reaction, which is, right, giving power to them. Because there's no need to defend yourself. You get me? They're lying. So the way they're supposed to behave, the way they're supposed to be anxious and defend themselves and freak out, they're not supposed to defend themselves. They're supposed to be humble and say they did wrong. But you get me, that quality of weakness belongs to them. Of, I didn't do it. That weakness belongs to them. So when you good people or victims who are not good do that, to bad behavior, that you see, they seeing the behavior they normally would have done when they're held accountable. They're seeing something similar to that in you. Obviously, it's not the same. So for that reason, they think, you get me, they're somehow on a dominant side. They get worse then. They don't shut up. By pausing, what do they see? Yeah, that behavior they were hoping for didn't come out. Instead, God, the way he created a human, came out. To be serious when you're being harassed. Right? You're supposed to be serious, right? It's not funny, right? It's not a lighthearted situation, right? It's a harmful situation. So your serious signals to them you're healthy. You're not going to give them whatever reactions they wanted, emotional or psychological or verbal or physical. It means this human is in control, not they, the bully, right? This human controls how they respond. You can't push them to just talk and defend themselves, right? When they didn't even want to. Their mouth was just moving. It was just fear controlling them. So they think it's power they have over the person or the situation, because they pushed you to that fear. That was not you feeling that way, right? It's not real fear. Okay, so then they're gonna just shut up. They're just gonna take a pause. They're gonna just look around. If they were at an office with you, they're just gonna look at their computer, take things out. Then they're gonna just finish the service for you, right? Because they're an employee usually. They're a customer. They'll just wait for you to finish whatever service you were doing, right? And it'll just be over. They'll act professional again. You get what I'm saying? Whatever you told them and expected them to be. Okay, here's your thing. Have a nice day, you know? Okay, we'll see you this day, you know? They'll speak like that, the way they were supposed to. They're not going to act like you have to respond to them with a yes, you know, like earlier. Do you understand? They're not going to say that to you. Listen, you were supposed to blah, 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 blah. Okay? Hello? They're not going to act like they can force you to respond to them like obedience. They're going to do exactly what you expect. They're going to behave. They can't do that if you keep talking to them, because that takes away their ability to become present with their evil behavior they're doing that moment and hold themselves accountable. It allows them to be distracted and dragged by the demon, right? And have all these emotions come over them from the devil that, right, sort of like makes them feel like they're being rewarded for the more evil they're doing. But if you don't respond, you pause, but you still stand up for yourself. You pause, then they're going to just say to you, hello, why you not talking? They're going to act more dominant. But if you say something, just something, one statement, two, and it's right to the point, it's blunt, it stops what they're doing, and that's enough. It's assertive. You're not defensive. You're not actually trying to show that what they just said was wrong, because you don't need to defend yourself to them. Get it? That's power you're giving them. You're just telling them how to behave. But you're not yelling. You're not speaking, right, this sort of angry way. You're not trying to like tell them what to do, right, as if you're trying to force them. No, you're just telling them. Be professional. You get me? You know they don't. They have the free will to say no, and you didn't do anything wrong. You're not weak or anything. They're not accusing you of being weak. They're human. They have free will. Correct? So be professional or not, it doesn't mean you're weak. Okay, so you're willing to then get off that phone, that situation, deal with the fact that then they might lie about you after that. You're willing to deal with the nonsense that may follow. You're not scared of it. You get me? You don't want fear to control you, because they want that fear to then make you talk, 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 talk. Right? And be defensive, which is not a normal quality. Okay. Okay. Take care of yourself.